Hello and welcome to Basement Fodder, the only show who's celebrating its 3-year anniversary this week. I'm Todd.
I'm Dave.
I mean, I can't confirm that we're the only show celebrating our anniversary this week, but we are celebrating our 3-year anniversary. I think it was a few days ago, actually.
Yeah, probably.
The 3-year anniversary when we posted our very first episode. I went back and looked at what we talked about on there, which were talking about Thor 2 before it came out.
I didn't think
Black Friday shopping. Yeah. I think that was the last time I went Black Friday shopping. Like, I actually waited, in the morning to go Black Friday shopping. And I think we were also talking about trailers and Skyrim, cracking out on Skyrim. That was the other thing.
Which just brought out the new version of Skyrim.
So very topical.
Yeah. And the new Thor's supposed to be coming out. So yeah, it's pretty much like full circle.
As much as things change, as much as they stay the same, right?
Pretty much.
So, of course, everybody knows it's Thanksgiving week, and I'm sure that if you're listening to this now, you're probably sitting there stuffed with leftovers. And
it's cultural appropriation week.
Yeah, it's turkey giblets hanging out of your fucking mouth and stuffing all over your shirt. Look at you mess. You disgust me.
Not me. I don't eat any of that shit. Like, literally, there's maybe 2 things of traditional Thanksgiving shit that I'll actually eat, and that's true. Not any of it.
I definitely broke with tradition this year for me. This is the first time I haven't, went to my family's house or anything like for Thanksgiving, because I had to work for one thing, which that it was both it sucked, but it was also it really required very little effort because there was less than no business. So
it's so difficult.
We were busy about 3 times during the day. Of course, a lot of you guys know I work in a filling station, gas station, convenience store. Call me Dante, but I sat on my ass in a chair all day. I was like, my foot hurts because I don't know, I did something weird to my foot. And so I just sat in a chair and pretended to care. And when I say pretend to care, I didn't pretend to care.
He pussyfooted around.
But it was only 6 hours, and I got paid time and a half, so woohoo on that.
That's the one that's nice, where it's like, oh, look, I get, more pay for less work, yes.
That'll help with the massive amount of Christmas shopping I still need to do, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We got a little bit done in the last 2 weekends, though.
Everybody's getting one gift and one gift only.
The gift of a child's laughter.
Or crying, because that's because I hate your children.
I hate you and your child.
Yep.
We did a little thing called Friendsgiving this year, which I'm sure we did not come up with this term, but
sure friends did.
Friends probably did.
Sure.
Jennifer Aniston beat me to it. I don't know, I didn't name it.
Like most things.
Yeah, the Rachel cut was totally my idea until she took it. Teenage me was very devastated. You went back down to your neck of the woods to Dayton to hang out with your mom and have Thanksgiving down there. But after I got work, I went straight over, and it was the Den Mother of Doom Sandlet and the Basement Beach and Sandlet's boyfriend and me hanging out. And what I found out was that as much as I enjoy spending time over there and being through the process, I really fucking hate parades. And I watched the goddamn Macy's Thanksgiving parade 2 times through because she kept playing it on the TV over and over again.
Oh, God, fuck that.
It was torturous.
Why?
Towards the end of it, though, I'm going to tell you, I didn't realize it had gone through twice because I wasn't there when it cycled or whatever. I was in the bathroom or something. So I just thought it was really fucking long. I was like, my God, man, this thing's been going on for 6 hours. They got to be running out of balloons by now. They're having balloons from shows that never actually made it to the air.
They just have a warehouse full of them.
Canceled cartoons. There's Thundercats cartoon balloons. My God, man, Thundercats hasn't been on since 1988. We're out of balloons in 6 hours. The weirdest thing about it, Tony Bennett was on there, and they're just like, oh, Tony Bennett, 90 years old, celebrating his 90, he's 90 years young. So what do they do with Tony Bennett? It's freezing cold. They stick him on a float with Miss Piggy and some Christmas shit, and he's supposed to be singing Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Well, of course, Miss Piggy, because it's a puppet, is on a recording.
Yeah.
And every time it would go to do the singing or whatever, it would fuck him up because it was recorded. And so he was singing 3 or 4 words, and then she was supposed to be singing, and it was a fucking travesty. And then at the end of it, he goes to turn and walk into the fake house and thing on the damn float and nearly asses out, and the guy who's controlling the puppet caught him with Miss Piggy's face.
It's gotta be good for something.
It was fucking comedy gold. I'm like, he's 90 years old. Don't make him get out there on a fucking cold ass float with a Muppet. For Christ's sake, give the man a little respect.
No, I would have been okay if he had assed out and died. I don't really care. It's Tony Bennett. Who gives a fuck?
Speaking of old people kicking the bucket this week, Florence Henderson died yesterday.
Yep.
82 years old.
Yep. No more Brady, Mom.
No more Brady, Mom.
Oh, shucks and gee golly. Oh, wait, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's not one that affected me at all. Like, I never really liked the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, the Brady Bunch was like a goddamn cult. Like, I was like, who believes this is real? Like, you're making a wholesome show off the fact that, like, oh, they're fucking their past wife and husband died. I was like, no, they got a divorce. They're just not telling you that because then it seems less wholesome. Like,
the only Brady Bunch stuff I liked was the movies they did in the 90s because I thought those were fucking hilarious.
Yeah, because they made fucking hellacious fun of the fact of those things. It's like,
that was my introduction to Gary Cole, and Gary Cole was fucking awesome.
Yeah. Shit all over the fucking Brady Bunch.
Yeah, I don't know. Brady Bunch was before my time, and like even a lot of other shows that I liked when I was a kid that watched Nick at Night were like before my time, but I still got them, like Get Smart and Gilligan's Island and shit like that.
Yeah, but I think those ones
Brady Bunch I just never cared about.
That's because it was that weird level of wholesome that you're just like, this doesn't fit.
Oh, it's disgustingly sweet and saccharine.
I don't like this.
I particularly remember really hating the littlest girl.
Oh yeah, the little fucking the one they tried to make
Cindy.
The suburban version of fucking what's her face from Little House on the Prairie.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody hated her.
With her little.
Shut up. Actually, I hated all of them.
That child's embraces and shut the fuck up.
I hated all of them. They were all horrible.
But like, I mean, yeah, you have to give her credit. Like, she's an iconic television figure and has been steadily working for God, since the 60s and before, and still was doing stuff recently. Like, she was on a talk show not too long ago that I saw. So, like, she's definitely maintained a career. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I'm sure folks are broken up about that. I'm not one of them. She's 82 years old. It's not like she died young or anything like that. I
mean, come on, it's 2016. How many motherfuckers have died this year? Like,
that you actually care about? Yeah,
too damn pissed, sad and shit. We all knew it was coming.
I enjoyed the Friendsgiving thing. It was nice too. Like, I love my family, but being around them is kind of pressureful sometimes. And especially with everything that's happening lately in my life, I just don't really feel like being exposed to that at the moment. So it was nice to hang out. Then, of course, after we ate too much, like I'm pretty sure I ingested something like 17 pounds of food. We busted out the board game type stuff, and we were playing this awful game before you got there. I'm trying to remember the name. It's like 5 questions, but basically it's like one of those
no fucks given
obnoxious fucking board games that's like, here, put your piece on the board and you land on a square, and then you look at a card and there's like 5 color categories, and then you flip over a timer and you have to name 5 things about whatever the stupid thing is. And it's not like a trivia game where you actually have to think about things, or it's like, know some knowledge. It's just like, how fast can you say shit? Like, and I hate those fucking games, but I was like, all right, everybody else wants to play, so I will do it. You
hate most games with more than 3 rules in them.
I do hate most games with more than 3 rules in them.
Like, if it's remotely complicated, it's like, no.
Well, it's not like it was complicated. I just don't like that kind of game.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, like, the complicated ones you don't like. You're like,
I really can't do complicated games at all.
Wow.
Because I never quite understand rules.
Yeah.
And there's a weird thing about me. As intelligent a person as I am, I just cannot grasp
rules for shit, dude.
Rules on games. We've been role playing for God since I was 17 years old, and I still am like, I can't be in charge of the rules. Like storytell, that's great. Can't be in charge of the rules. I defer to someone else on that shit. Yeah. But no, we started playing this game, and it was fucking awful, and I hated it immediately. And it just instantly filled me with hatred. And so I just started answering things that weren't the answer because I didn't care anymore. But what I didn't realize, because I've never really played this sort of game with her before, is that the Dead Mother of Doom was extremely competitive. Like, to a violent level. And I was just like, you win. Like, I don't want to win. You scare me.
I don't play anymore. Fuck you, Jesus.
You're ruining Thanksgiving. So, yeah, if you ever hang out with us, please, God, don't mention playing board games with the Dead Mother of Doom. She will destroy you.
Or do, and just sit there and film it and watch her, like,
melt the fuck down.
As
I do. It did remind me of
I could have told you from our days in Amp that she's competitive.
Oh, no, see, I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know. Like, we played games before, but it's never been that sort of game. It's more like trivia games and stuff. And I noticed she was competitive, but not that competitive. She was competitive. Yeah. What's funny is, like, she was the only person who cared, really, because I think, like, it was me and Ariel and her boyfriend, and the three of us didn't really care that much. But she was, like, being ultra competitive with no one.
Yeah. I think she was trying to, like, induce competitiveness into you guys.
No.
Like, competitive.
It doesn't work.
Like, it's like, everybody's like, no, we don't care, dude. Like,
Just doesn't. It doesn't
which makes
work.
them more competitive, because they're like, fuck you guys.
It just pisses them off.
Yeah, like, this is bullshit. Dude.
So thankfully that fucking tragedy ended before you got there.
Yeah.
But then when you came, we busted out Cards for Humanity.
No, first we were going to play.
Yeah, wow.
The fucking Sheriff of Nottingham.
I think that one wasn't my fault, because I think once it got out, no one wanted to play that game.
Well, I had talked about wanting to play it. I just didn't want to play it then.
Yeah,
like,
me
I
either.
just didn't have any desire to really play that.
Well, I hadn't even drinking by then, and like,
Yeah,
especially
like,
when drinking, the more rules, the less I have the ability to grasp it when I'm drinking.
Just like, hold on.
And I kept telling them, just start playing and I'll pick it up, because that's how you teach me how to play a game. Start playing it in front of me and I'll pick it up.
Yeah.
Like, you can read the rules to me all day and I'll never understand it.
Yeah. I think, they need to have, like, videos that show
like,
you how to play.
You can teach me how to play a game. You're about the only person I know who can teach me how to play a game. Yeah. But no one else seems to have this ability. Only Dave knows how to talk to me that I understand it. The other thing that was happening over and over again was Forrest Gump.
Oh,
holy
my
shit.
God. Yes.
E was playing Forrest Gump on a fucking loop.
Just, the E channel decided they just want to, like, butt fuck everybody with Forrest Gump. Like, it was bad.
But I did get to see my favorite part of Forrest Gump twice. Well, no, I didn't get to see it the first time, because when we turned the channel over, it was right past when it happened.
Oh, was it?
And I was sadly disappointed. And if you guys don't know, my favorite part of Forrest Gump is of course at the beginning of the movie when your mama sure does care a lot about your schooling boy. E. This comes up way too often in our conversations. I love that movie. I will say that as much as they played it over and over again, I got tired of watching it by the end of the night.
Yeah, you're just kind of like,
it is to me.
But something great came out of it. The Lieutenant Sam.
It is to me, though, one of the best movies of my generation. Like, Tom Hanks has an ability to make something his own.
It was good.
It's a great movie.
It's good. I don't know if
it has one of the greatest soundtracks ever, too. If you like classic, music and stuff, classic rock, it definitely has one of the greatest soundtracks ever, too. But great movie. But yes, I was drinky, and like by the end of the night, we had renamed the dead brother of Doom Lieutenant Sandlet, or Lieutenant Sand for short.
Lieutenant Sand.
Lieutenant Sand, ice cream. It was because every time her turn came around in Cards of Humanity, she was like fungal fucking off somewhere, like in her own space, on her phone or some shit.
I was just like,
Lieutenant Sand.
It's your turn, Lieutenant Sand.
I played that game twice now, and I absolutely love it. I know I'm late to the game on this, and everybody else has known about this game forever, it seems like, but I fucking love it. It's so great. It's like, if you want to know how creepy and depraved your friends are, play this game.
I love playing this game and then watching people assume that card combinations are me.
That kept happening
to me. Like,
and it was me.
Stanley kept looking over at me and being like, giving me that look, and I'm like, you think that's me, but it's not. As soon as she would say it, too, I was like, that's not me.
Yeah, every time I would do a fucked up one, she'd be looking at you like it was yours. I'm like, no, apparently I'm grosser. Now, yeah, if you want to find out how depraved your friends are, this is the game that you want to play.
Which I apparently am very depraved, because I won.
And it was super cool because, like, the set that we were playing with was, like, several sets together, and a Crabs Against Humanity set in there, too.
Yeah.
So it was like, holy crap, there's a ton of options. Mm-hmm. And written cards, which one of them involved John Cena, and I approve that heavily. But it was a fine Thanksgiving. I'm still burping stuffing over here. Oh, God, it's
I like
awful.
the Cracker Barrel, so that was good.
Dude, man, I haven't been in the Cracker Barrel in 15 years.
Yeah, Cracker Barrel.
But that was a lot of fun, and I'm glad it's over.
Yeah. And I was like, well, and there was that.
And as we record this, it is the Friday after, of course, the Black Friday, and we did not participate in any Black Friday shenanigans.
Well, you didn't. I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Did you go this morning?
No, I went last night.
Well, yeah, technically you went last night. Yeah, because a lot of places have the Thursday night stuff now,
Black
too.
Friday now.
It's Thursday, Bloody Thursday.
Yep.
So what was your ill-gotten gains from this experience, then?
Oh, I got a laptop.
Ah.
I got the laptop and some flash drives and like 120 gigabyte SD card for my laptop and stuff, which I need for school. So it was like it was a gift from my mom for Christmas and stuff. But it was pretty good. I really don't need any of the stuff that they're like, hey, we got TVs and DVD players. I was like, you have those every year. So I've got all of those things. Like, I almost bought a Xbox One controller, which would have been nice.
Yeah.
But I was like, I really don't need it. So
the only thing I really saw that I wanted, like, we do the thing that we do every year, is we go to Walmart like around 2 or 3 in the afternoon and pick the bones, basically, of like what's left.
Like, what is here?
The only thing that I saw today that I wanted and I didn't get was the WWE 2K17 game for Xbox One was on sale, but I was just like, I can't justify, as broke as I am right now, spending this much money on this when I need to be getting Christmas gifts and shit.
Yeah.
So
I was like, oh, but $27.
I know, as much as I very much want it, I can't do much other than play fucking Fallout 4 right now.
Yeah.
So. But
yeah, that's the other thing. It's like, well, let's detach you from the one.
no, I love it.
One.
I love it too much. Yeah. We did go to Pack Rat today for their Black Friday after the thing, and they had a lot of deals. A lot of like they had their like clearance stuff was like half off, and that was really cool. I got a Labbit, a Superman Labbit, and he's so cute.
I bought some comics. That was pretty much it.
And I got a couple of things for the Basement Baby for Christmas. But it's always fun to go to Pack Rat, though.
Yeah, it is. There was a gaming book I was looking for, but they did not have it. So.
Sadly.
Darn.
Well, the other Thanksgiving tradition happened on Sunday. Of course, the Survivor Series. And I'm going to be honest.
Or as I like renamed it, the Suck-Ass Series.
Yeah, I can't believe I survived watching this series. Dude, I don't know. I think just my fucks for wrestling are very low right now.
It's because, like, whoever's writing it, their fucks for, like, the fans are, like, over.
Yeah.
It just feels like crap.
Like, it's been all I could do to get through watching any shows lately. Like, especially when things that you know are going to happen, and it's just annoying. Like, they put all that effort into the big Cruiserweight Classic thing, and it was awesome, and it went over like crazy, like, with the NXT fans and all that shit. Like, alright, this is going to be the dawn of the new thing, and we're going to put it on Raw. Huge mistake, because the people who watch Raw don't care about shit like that.
They just want big pops. That's all it is. All Raw fans are, like, big pop fanatics. Like, that's it. It's just a bunch of fucking kids and fucking cocksucking tweenie bitches who are all like, you know, they just want the fucking big fancy shit. They want, like, stupid, you know, feuds that end up with lots of shit talking and, you know, crappy male nudity. You know, but I mean, it is. It's a fucking gimmick show. But like NXT and even like I don't know, SmackDown is like the in between NXT and Raw. Like half their fan base is like they want to see good stuff, but the other half is like, well, we want big pops too. But I mean, I think cruiserweights would have been better on SmackDown. I'm like, you guys already have like a bunch of fucking shit on your show, anyways.
I mean, I kind of taken like a little vacation from watching the last few weeks, so like I saw little bits and pieces of stuff like the Goldberg Lesnar build up I've been watching and a couple other little things. Yeah. But one of the things that was like, you know, they've been doing. I've been watching Raw here and there and watching the cruiserweight segments and just watching them die a death. Like, you go out there and they, like TJ Perkins was your first champion, and, like, he was a great choice for champion.
Great choice.
Had a really cool entrance. He's great dynamic
gear,
in the ring.
On the mic, great in the ring.
No one cared.
And then you fucked it even worse by giving it to the over-the-hill fucking Brian Kendrick, who, I'm sorry, is not fun to watch.
Mm-mm.
He's a cruiserweight poor man fucking Ric Flair.
Like, the story, it was cool. It was a good story.
Yeah.
And it made sense and all that. But right now, the story is the least thing to worry about in the cruiserweight division because you need to make people care about it in general first.
Like, when you look back at, like, TNA, when they first started the X division, it was just matches. They weren't really worried about, like, story in the beginning. They had gimmick matches, like, you know, like the fucking cage and then the cross-beam ones and shit. I'm like, you really got to establish this because most of the fans that are watching Raw don't remember when WWE had a cruiserweight before.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
So it has been dying a death, and this was another example of that because, like, going into this, they did a cross promotional between, you know, SmackDown and Raw with Kalisto taking on Brian Kendrick, and if Kalisto won, then the entire cruiserweight division would go to SmackDown. And I was like, "This is a great idea." I'm thinking,
and there's no way in hell you could tell me that Brian Kendrick could beat Kalisto.
This was a beautiful. I was like, man, they're finally making sense. They're finally understanding that this doesn't need to be on Raw.
Yeah. Because Raw just doesn't know what to do with it.
And I start watching the match, and the match is excellent. Like, they're really going out there, and they're putting on a clinic, and fucking they're really doing a great match. And then how does it end? Why, Baron No Fucks Corbin comes out and fucking attacks Kalisto, and it's a fuckaroo. And no one, and just the crowd, like, any momentum they had built in that match, it just
died to death. Like, if you want to kill something quickly,
put Baron Corbin out there.
Put Baron Corbin in it. I don't understand how they haven't realized that this guy just fucking
This guy's anti-charisma.
Shit. Yeah. He kills shit. And if you're a Baron Corbin fan,
why?
I mean...
No, you want... No, fuck that. If you're a Baron Corbin fan, I want you to fucking send me a message and tell me why. And you tell me what the fuck you like about this numbnuts sack of shit waste of space. Because I really need to know. Like, I need to, because I can't even fucking fathom why you could be a fan of this guy. Unless, like, you love the taste of his dick or something. I don't understand why the fuck you would like this guy.
It's a bunch
I want you to send me a fucking
message. Babes that love
a bunch of
Corbin.
fucking, like, Motley Crue road hags and shit fucking out there just suckling at the teat of his doom and shit. I need you to send me a motherfucking message or, like, post it in a thread or something. You tell me why you fucking like Baron Corbin. You explain the appeal of this fucking balding fuck to me because I don't get it. And I don't think you do either.
I mean, well, it was bad. I think a lot of it was just, like, the whole setup was crappy. Like,
this whole show just sucked. I mean, it fucking just really...
They did the thing, of course, where... Raw was the dominant one. Their women's team defeated SmackDown's team. Their tag team defeated, which I don't understand how, because you had the fucking American Alphas, who are, like, hands down one of the best teams, you know, on there, like, in WWE.
I could do a whole show talking about just those fucking, like, Raw versus SmackDown matches, because each one of them made so little sense in the way that they were constructed.
Yeah.
Like... especially the fucking tag team match, because the order of elimination was stupid in that match. Like, the New Day were just, like, immediately eliminated.
Yeah.
Like, right out of the bat. And then the sole survivors for the fucking match, Cesaro and Sheamus, who no one could possibly care about.
Yeah.
Like, here's a brilliant fucking plan. Let's take Cesaro, a guy who people do give a shit about, but you've never given them a reason to give that much of a shit because you never let him do anything.
You kill him every chance he gets.
Then let's take Sheamus, who literally no one on earth gives a shit about.
Yeah.
I don't even think Sheamus gives a shit about Sheamus at this point.
Yeah.
And what do you do to these guys who basically, between them, might have a micron of fucking, overness? Let's put them together and kill any, overness that Cesaro may have had.
First, let's make them do this stupid best of 7 series.
Yeah, which was
then
fucking
immediately
ridiculous.
afterwards, butt fuck them together and make them become a tag team.
And I can hear you fucking smarks out there that like wrestling and shit. But Ty, the work rate in those matches was really excellent, and Sheamus did some of his best work. And yes, and you can hear the goddamn crickets chirping in the motherfucking crowd every time they had a match. Nobody gave a shit. And putting them together as a tag team, they give less of a shit.
It only killed fucking whatever Cesaro had going for him.
I mean, it is the level of ultra mega negafucks that, like, might actually consume the universe.
Cesaro should have been drafted to SmackDown so he could have competed in the Intercontinental Championship arena and done better for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would rather see a Miz Cesaro series for the Intercontinental than I've seen that stupid ass travesty of a fucking bullshit with
Miz and Ziggler.
Yeah, Ziggler.
Miz and fucking Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, I don't care about Ziggler. Like, you finally put some stink on fucking Miz. You get him to where people are like, yes, and who do you put him against? The fucking Dolph fucking Ziggler? Like, seriously, nobody could give a
Billy
fuck.
Gunn 2017.
Yeah.
Fucking, you know what?
But anyways,
no, then they waste time and they're like, oh no, we're actually going to give Ziggler the title finally. And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then someone might actually give half a fuck for about 30
but
seconds.
that's old news. But that's old news.
Oh, the rage.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But the team stuff was just...
It made no sense.
It made... Especially considering, like, the fucking teams...
Yeah,
that
the SmackDown
had.
team, oh good lord, like, SmackDown team was, like, mostly joke.
Yeah, Heath Slater, Usos, American Alpha, Hype Bros, and Breezango.
They lasted literally 14 seconds in the match.
Oh, Breezango?
Yeah, they were gone. Yeah. Like, the Raw team was, like, all these strong tag teams, and the Shining Stars were there, too.
Yeah.
And then, like, Team SmackDown's like, oh, your tag team champions, which are kind of a joke-ass team anyway, but they're fun to watch. The Usos, which, like, are great workers but mean nothing right now.
Yeah.
American Alpha, fucking awesome.
Which is the dominant team in there.
The Hype Bros, as much as I love Zack Ryder, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Breezango, Jesus Christ, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Like, both of these guys could disappear forever, like Jimmy Hoffa, no one would even notice.
Yeah. It was
a joke.
It was a joke. The women's the Team Raw versus Team... fucking SmackDown was Charlotte, Bayley, Sasha, Nia Jax, and Alicia Fox. Nobody cares about Alicia Fox, but the other four are like the fucking, biggest.
Yeah, those are big hitters.
Yeah. Oh, and they got Dana Brooke. Then SmackDown's Becky Lynch, Natalya, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, and Naomi. Like, okay, I'm sorry, the best two in there, Naomi and fucking Natalya.
Natalya wasn't even supposed to be in the match.
Yeah, Alexa Bliss is good too.
Oh yeah, she's great.
But, and then you got Carmella and Becky Lynch. Like, Carmella can't do goddamn shit.
No, she's fucking terrible.
And Becky Lynch, I'm sorry, I love her to death, but they have fucking killed her. They fucking shit on her so hard in Raw and then gave her the consolation prize in SmackDown. That's all that was.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when they brought Christian back in and they gave him, like, the world title and shit for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
A couple of times. And I was like, this is what it is. It's like a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yeah.
Like, it's not really a title anymore.
Yeah, you've been here long enough.
Like, I love Christian, don't get me wrong, and he deserved to be champion.
Yeah.
But, like, they didn't care. And it was very obvious, like, oh, here you go, pat, pat, pat on the back.
Yeah.
Like, you get to be champion for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, fucking, that's what it feels like with Becky, because they just buried her beneath the fucking earth. But no, Natty wasn't even supposed to be in the match. She was the coach of the team, and then Nikki Bella was supposed to be in there.
Yeah.
And she got attacked backstage by obviously fucking Carmella, because she's in the middle of a feud with Carmella, and Carmella's like, oh, no, it wasn't me. I'm like, bitch, are you shitting me? Like,
here's the other thing that pissed me off about this stupid shit, was they had all these feuds from SmackDown affecting their teams, but, like, you never saw that shit with the Raw teams too much. Like,
yeah,
they were able to be like,
actually.
oh no, we're cool, we're tight with each other. I'm like, you're kidding me. You're telling me, like, Gallows and Anderson, Enzo Amore, Big Cass, and fucking The New Day are coexisting, no problem.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, even with the Raw women's match, it's like Charlotte and fucking Sasha hate each other and shit.
Yeah.
And Bayley and all that, and that didn't affect anything until the match was over.
Yeah.
And when the match was over, fuck yeah, Charlotte fucking beats the shit out of, Sasha. Like, of course she did.
Yeah. I thought that
when the match is over.
Yeah. I think that was kind of one of those things where they were like, well, we still got to show that Raw's the dominant one.
Yeah, because no matter how many times they say, like, we want both shows to be equal, it's not like that. Mm-mm. Vince doesn't care about SmackDown, and he never will. Mm-mm. So, all those matches aside, like, I can talk a little bit about Team SmackDown versus Raw for the men's. It was an interesting match. Mm-hmm. Like, in spots, very good.
Yeah.
But, again, this, like, SmackDown people can't get along thing really just kind of pissed on the match for me.
The thing about it is, one, I love Shane. Shane had no business being in this fucking match.
Yes. Two, they have made me literally despise Dean Ambrose at this point. Every time he comes on screen, I want to kill him.
And Dean was the fucko in this one. That's the thing. Dean was the the fucking
He's supposed to be a fucking babyface!
And he was the asshole in this one. He could not get along with AJ long enough to fucking do shit. And people are going to be like, well, AJ egged him on and shit. And be like,
AJ's the heel. He was the one who was keeping shit professional. Yeah, he was fucking with him, like, egging him on, but he didn't touch him, he didn't smack him, he didn't attack him, nothing.
And again, over on Raw, you saw Rollins and Reigns being fucking tight buddy.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, we got this. We understand this, even though we've beaten the living fucking piss shit out of each other.
It's infuriating.
And then the same with, like, Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho against Seth Rollins. Like, there was some kind of shit, but they were like...
Dude, everybody on this team on the Raw team hated each other, but they functioned fine. And then fucking
SmackDown.
Dean Ambrose, because he's retarded, can't like fucking function. Like, what I will say positively about this is that Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, they really made the match worth watching.
Yeah.
Like, Orton,
and James Ellsworth.
That guy's hilarious.
That guy's fucking hilarious.
No, like, they really did make the match worth watching. Roman Reigns, I'll give him credit, and Seth Rollins, they both did good work. Mm-hmm. And, like, there was some really good stuff in there. AJ, of course, is always phenomenal.
Yeah.
They don't call him phenomenal.
Owens did some good stuff.
Owens did some good stuff.
I feel
Jericho
bad for
did some decent stuff,
I feel
too.
bad for Jericho, because really he was kind of an afterthought in this one.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like he didn't do good work. It was just, it was a stacked match of really amazing guys. And at his age, he's getting overshadowed now.
They did little subtle things that I liked, like when Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman were in the ring together, like Bray kind of stared him down and was like, no, you're not going to attack me and shit. And like it kind of like it's called back to him being a Wyatt. Mm-hmm. And then he fucking was like, no, I've broken your spell over me or whatever.
Yeah.
And they creatively got rid of Strowman and giving James Ellsworth like a little bit of revenge for Strowman destroying him completely,
and then Strowman fucked him up completely again. But
that little dude, like, he's got to be living his dream right now because like there's no way he was ever legitimately going to make it into the WWE.
Yeah,
like, but he's found a little thing.
He found a way.
They do this every couple years. I've noticed they find a guy like that. Like they did it a couple years ago with Colin Delaney and ECW and shit. Like they find a little kind of like pissant indie guy and kind of make him a dude for a while.
And then there's also fucking Swaggy,
Hornswoggle and shit, or like fucking Zach Gallen back in the day and stuff. Like they find a little dude every once in a while that they are entertained by, and they kind of make him a star.
Yeah,
which is a fun thing to do.
But
like I said, the match was okay. Like it had a good ending, and like I love the stuff.
There was there was a pop there. Like there was an old school pop. Mm-hmm. Fucking, this is spoilers of the match. I'm sure you've all seen it and stuff like that. So we saw a lot of like stuff between Rollins and Reigns where they were like, they've been doing that fucking shield move again.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, after he gets fucking eliminated, Dean Ambrose comes back and fucking jumps his own team, jumps AJ, and helps the Raw team by fucking putting AJ through the fucking table doing the shield stuff. Yeah, and so they were all like, oh, the shield, it's coming back, or some shit. And I was like, nobody fucking cares. But I was like, that shit was stupid. But I think, Wyatt and fucking Orton were able to, like, really kind of save that.
There was a great spot right at the end where Roman was the last Raw guy.
Yeah.
And it was Bray and Orton were the only two left. And Roman was beating the shit out of Bray.
Well.
And Randy was on the floor and he was gone.
But before that, there was that awesome RKO, though.
No, that was great, too.
That was a great
mention that.
one, yeah.
But, like, fucking, he's Superman punched Bray and he's got him set up. And he goes over in the corner and does the fucking Superman in the corner.
Yeah.
And gets it and goes for the spear, and fucking Randy pushes Bray out of the way. Takes it hard.
Takes the fucking thing.
Epic fucking spear, and Roman pops back up, and Bray comes out of nowhere with the fucking Sister Abigail as quick as he could, just slugging the piss shit out of him, and pinned his ass.
And it was a 2-1 victory.
Beautiful.
And it really solidified that storyline that Orton is transferred over to the Wyatt, which is scary, especially too because Harper's back, and Harper was fucking a player in this too. Like he joined. Like in the match, and it was some crazy shit. And that was probably the best highlight of Survivor Series because the next match, I'm sorry,
I want to talk about Shane real quick.
Oh yeah,
Shane tried the West Coast, not West Coast, but the Coast to Coast, like off the top ropes.
Ooh.
And he caught a spear midair by Roman, but the way he caught it, he actually got hurt. And they haven't said like what happened, but
I think he got a concussion.
I think he got a concussion, and I think he broke a rib or something because the way it hit was very awkward.
Well, the way it was,
he just went instantly down, and they had to drag him out. Basically.
So the way it was is like he was going for the West Coast, and as he does it, he basically tries to stay, straight up, kind of, so that Roman can hit him.
Yeah.
But Roman hits it late. You can tell.
Oh yeah.
And he doesn't catch him till he's almost touching the fucking mat, and then hits him so hard that it immediately goes like fucking shoulder and head hit the mat first. And I think that was a bad timing. I'm not going to say it was Roman's fault.
No, it's Shane. It was just Shane's fault. I'm going to tell you why.
It's just bad timing.
Because Shane, if you put Shane in a situation where he can work with one guy, and he can map out a match and do something interesting, then Shane can be took through a match really well.
Yeah.
But you put him in a situation like this where it's a bunch of guys and there's no real way to choreograph things the right way.
Yeah.
Shane looks so lost and he botches constantly. Like, okay, he did some shit with Chris Jericho. And keep in mind, this is fucking Chris Jericho. Mm-hmm. It's not like he can't work. Mm-hmm. And
Chris Jericho carries somebody through a match if he needs to.
Shane just made it look fucking terrible. Like, he was trying to throw these arm drag takedowns and shit. And like
those were shitty. Like, the only thing that he could do that, like, you believe that were within his capabilities was throwing these shitty punches.
Oh my god, the fucking punches. I'm sorry, Shane McMahon. Please stop punching people. Your punches seriously couldn't break wind. Yeah. Like, oh my fuck. Like, he throws the most limp-wristed fucking flappy dog punches.
He throws those punches that, like, from a martial arts standpoint, it's the ones where you don't actually, like, close your fist to the last moment, and it's supposed to, like...
He doesn't close his fist at all?
Yeah, he kind of does that,
like slappy bag punches or something?
And it's like... You're like, Shane, stop that, dude. Or if you're going to do it, make it, like... Because I'm pretty sure I saw Chris Jericho tell him, just fucking hit me. Like, again. Yeah. Like, Chris is just like, just
Well, you could audibly hear, if you watch it, you can audibly hear Jericho calling... shit, like, and loudly calling it, because I think Shane's, like, not doing what he was supposed to be doing.
Well, there was that, and, like, they basically just, that entire team just monkey whipped the shit out of him. And I was like, this was a thing where I was like, this is why Shane did not need to be on this.
No.
I understand why you guys had it on there. For story, I understand it, but it did not need to happen.
He did his big, like, corner jump off through the table and stuff.
It was cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Great. People loved it and stuff like that, but I'm like, okay... But this is where it's going to start to get old now. You need to, like, stop. He needs to just stay the commissioner.
He needs to be used sparingly. That's the thing with Shane. Like, if you're going to put him in the ring, put him in the ring sparingly.
And the problem is, like, Survivor Series is not a sparing thing. No. It's, like, 5 dudes per team for almost, like, what? How long was the match?
It was a good long match.
Almost an hour.
Yeah, literally 52 minutes.
Like, that's rough. That's rough on normal...
Yeah.
Guys, Shane was fucking winded like halfway through.
And he's in phenomenal shape.
Yeah, it's just that's rough. But
he never should have been in that match.
No, he shouldn't have. I think they could have found somebody else to put in there.
So let's talk about... Yeah, I do too. Let's talk about the main event. The quote-unquote main event.
No.
Now, I want to talk about the build-up to this match
This is the icing on the main event. Which
on the turd cake.
Yeah, which was the guy's match.
Now, I'm going to say... This Goldberg and Lesnar thing was built up really well.
It was beautiful.
Like, they had Goldberg on SportsCenter.
Beautiful.
Talking about the new video game and stuff. Like, hey, is there anything you regret? Anything like that? It was just a very standard interview. And it wasn't that, like, it didn't feel like that bait sort of interview.
Yeah.
And then Goldberg just casually mentions, like, I'd love to give Brock another shot because I did beat him the one time that we, and I like him and I respect him and all this shit or whatever. And then Brock and Heyman were on Raw the next week, and Brock was kind of like, what the fuck? Fuck you. Like, I don't need your fucking...
And this is believable because this is Brock.
Because it's Brock. And he's like, do me a favor. Play it on the video game, motherfucker, because I will destroy you.
Yeah.
Like, and it came off very much like, this is when Brock needs to talk. Like, I love that Heyman is a mouthpiece and stuff, but let Brock talk when he's talking about how much he wants to fucking kill people, because he is scary.
Yeah. Heyman's not. Heyman's like one of those...
Heyman's hilarious, and he's like, he can cut an amazing promo.
Yeah.
And he can make you fucking want to watch a match. Like, that, I'll give Paul Heyman, like, nobody cuts money promos anymore except Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Because, like, he will take two guys you couldn't possibly care about and make you want to watch that match.
And honestly, that's because the age of letting them have a good manager is over.
No, it's way over, yeah.
Yeah. Like... You look back at all those eras of fucking the amazing mouth managers like fucking,
Cornette,
Jimmy, fucking
Paul Bearer,
all of those guys fucking, they're dead. They won't let them have a fucking manager unless it's like Alana or something like that. And even then it's like, dude, okay, Lana can do a decent promo to get people riled up about some shit as long as she's doing that fucking like, oh, I'm better than you Americans.
But she can't sell a match.
She can't sell a match, and she's more eye candy.
Like, most of these motherfuckers that are main event guys can't really sell a match. Like, they can't cut a promo to sell a match, but Paul Heyman can sell you a match.
Yeah.
And that has been Paul Heyman's talent forever, is that he can make you watch shit that you normally wouldn't give a fuck about.
And they put it on a guy who is fucking physically scary, and it's like really scary. Like, you were like, oh, okay, he's scary as far as wrestling, and then he went over to MMA, and you're like, oh no shit,
no,
he's really that scary. Yeah, he's legitimately scary. And then you're like, okay, who can we put him against that's also legitimately scary? Because God love John Cena, he's not legitimately
and that's
scary.
The thing, that's the downside of Brock, is that, like, really, you have to really choose opponents, because, like, most guys don't. He's so legit that most guys don't stand a chance of giving a shit.
Nobody gave a shit about the Dean Ambrose shit because it was like literally there was no fucking way it could happen. They literally had to have Dean beat the shit out of Brock Lesnar's balls for there to be any kind of thing. Or he's like, I'll get all these weapons. I'm like, you're not Brian Pillman. Yeah. This isn't Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yeah. You're going to die.
This man's going to snap your neck.
Yeah, this guy gets hit by fucking
like the one promo that Brock cut, like, it was with Paul and Brock, and they're sitting in the dark room or whatever, and they do that interview-style promo, which that's Brock's strongest point. You put him in a room, and you, like, have the off-camera guy ask questions or whatever, and you just let Brock talk. Because, like, he's like... He
did it with Orton. It was beautiful.
Yeah, he's like, you know what my suggestion? Like, don't let your wife and kids watch this. Because I'll kill you. I'm gonna destroy you. There'll be nothing left. Like, I'm literally gonna embarrass you to the point of your own death.
And like, Heyman did it too. He compounded on that with like, don't let this audience chant "Get your ass in trouble."
Yes.
Like he came out and he was like, don't let these fucks chanting your name make you think you need to do something that's gonna hurt you in the end.
It was extremely well built. And then Goldberg, he came out and he did his his first promo, like, I think I've got one more spear left in me. I've got one more insane jackhammer left in me. Like, you're not Brock. You know what? You're on. You're not just next. You're last. Like, this is it. I'm coming back one time, and I'm gonna kick your fucking ass. And then then they just compound it. Like, Heyman comes out and he cuts a promo about his kids and his wife and shit. And it just makes it worse to the point of Goldberg is like fucking good and angry. And
Goldberg is good and angry, but he's like disturbingly angry. Yeah. He's like that where he's like smiling, he's fucking sweating his brains out. He's just like ripping shit and stuff. And he's like, hey, guess who's on your record? Guess who's not on your record?
Yeah. And they do the thing where, like, they have Brock on one side of the ring and Goldberg on the other side, and they got a bunch of geeks in the middle and shit. And, like, fucking Heyman's over there just egging it and, like, just ripping and fucking pushing it in as far as he can.
Normally, Heyman gets to talk whatever shit he wants, but it was like Goldberg was like, shut the fuck up. And then, like, the fan base, every time Heyman tried to talk, and this is one of the few times I've seen a fan base shut Heyman down. He tried to talk during some of those promos, and they were just like, Goldberg, like, just shut him up. And you could see Brock getting fucking just riled the fuck up. And Goldberg's like, yeah. And you know what? Goldberg has legit stank on him because of the stuff he's done outside.
Yeah.
Like with his football, but also everybody knows the rumors about him when he first came to WCW about how when he was sparing these motherfuckers, he was legit putting people in the hospital because he was sparing them for real.
Because he's a powerful dude.
Because he is a fucking powerful guy. Because that was his bread and butter when he was on a football team, was to put guys Brock's size down, and he did that effectively. So it was like they found the last bastion of guys who could stand up to Brock and be like, I'm not afraid of you. I'll fucking get you. Like,
and like that stare down and shit, and then like fucking Heyman goes one toke over the line and is like, no, he'll be, your kid's gonna be calling Brock daddy and shit. And then Goldberg did a great thing. Like, you had to look at his face. He kind of had that half smile or whatever, and then you just see him say, fuck it. And then he just starts destroying every geek in the ring, just fucking pounding them in the face, throwing them out of the fucking ring, just launching these like geeks everywhere.
12 dudes just get launched.
This is why I love when they use geeks and shit, because it just looks so great when
and
you
destroy
a bunch of geeks.
And these aren't like tiny guys, these are like
dudes.
Big dudes and stuff.
They find all those big indie guys and shit from the local areas, and they're big hoss motherfuckers, and he's just throwing them around like they're fucking cake or something. Yeah. And then Brock rips his fucking shirt off, and then Brock just casually gets out of the ring and laughs at him and walks away. And this is another place where Brock is brilliant. Yeah. Because he's no, I'm not going to fight you because you're pissed off. I'm a fucking prize fighter. I don't fight for free, bitch. Yeah. I fight on pay-per-view only.
Yeah.
And then it's like, it makes you hate him and love him at the same time, because he's like, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to fucking let you bait me into a fight.
But the funny thing was, though, this is the one thing where Goldberg was good at, too, back in his WCW days, and it almost worked on Brock because of his pride and shit. He got on the mic and he was like, basically like, you are chicken shit.
Yeah, you're
Goldberg's
a chicken shit bitch, basically.
Oh, yeah, you are afraid. And Brock does not like to be told he's afraid, because then he's instantly like, I gotta prove myself. And they did everything beautifully.
They did everything right.
Everything right to get this set up. And then the match happens.
And they do the big intro, the music, and they, knock on the door. Hey, Goldberg, it's time to go. And he fucking comes out with the guards and shit, and it's like, he stands there in the fucking pyro, and like I know legitimately that this pyro actually hurts.
Yeah,
like it's legit sparks. Like, and
he's talked about.
He
this
stands
shit
in it, and
before.
like they shower him, and then you can see how red his skin is when he comes out. And then when he comes out, and he fucking times it perfectly with the music, and he throws the punch and the kick, and he fucking breathes out smoke like a goddamn snorting animal.
Yeah, like,
and it's fucking. It like I got goosebumps.
Yeah, that's old. That's like grade A.
I was 19
Goldberg.
again, watching fucking like Goldberg Hogan for the title when he's undefeated and shit. Like I got goosebumps because they built this so fucking well, and they come down there and Brock is stoic across the ring. And he's stretching.
Goldberg's doing his bounce and shit.
Like, Brock is doing his legitimate like direct stretches. Like he's throwing his foot up on the middle rope and stretching down. He's just looking over them with that fucking like I'm gonna eat your lunch stare on his face. Then they ring the bell, and Brock grabs him in a double leg and throws him in the corner. Goldberg no-sells it completely, and Brock's like, what the fuck? And then Goldberg just pushes him on his ass.
Yeah. Because Brock's not used to people that can just shrug off what he's doing. He expects, like, John Cena, he threw around the match like a fucking ragdoll. John Cena, who is, like, one of the strongest guys in WWE, just got ragdoll ass whooped, like worse than some of the MMA matches. Dean Ambrose got fucking broken multiple times. Like, shit, come on.
And he throws him on the ground, and Brock's kind of like, what the fuck? And then Brock does that like, fuck you smile or whatever. And he starts to get up, and he turns his back, and this is the worst thing you can do to Bill Goldberg is turn your back. He turns his back, and then when he turns around, he eats a fucking spear.
I mean, perfect. Like, right in the side, too. Like, it was all compressed into, like, that right side of his fucking rib cage.
And I'm going to tell you, this is where all you people out there that say Brock is not a good pro wrestler, you need to shut up. Because watch him sell this.
Oh, God.
Because Brock, the reason he had to stop fucking fighting in the UFC is because he had diverticulitis, which can kill you. Easily. And he could have died from a fight. Because it's a stomach problem where your intestines get all twisted up and stuff, and it can legit kill you. What's
take the
Brock
wrong
sell?
blow.
You hit that spear, what does he sell? He's got his hands wrapped around his guts, and he's fucking writhing.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see, like, and
he's
got
red.
that look on his face.
He's a white motherfucker, too, and he was red.
He's got that look on his face like something's wrong.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, I'm fucking Brock Lesnar, and he starts to get up, and he eats another spear.
And I mean, and that was like the surprise spear, and then that's when Goldberg just looks at the crowd, gives the look, does the fucking crazy eyes and shit, and just grabs the rope and gets down and just starts doing the fucking like, like getting it fucking going. And as soon as Brock stands up, I mean, hits him with the fucking like every bit of shit you and Heyman talked. Here it is, motherfucker, and just drives that fucking shoulder into him, and I mean slams the fuck out of him.
And just knocks him on his fucking ass like crazy, and then he grabs a hold of him.
And everybody knew, and he fucking did the thing too. And Goldberg sells like a motherfucker. Sell to every corner of the fucking ring. Everybody knew what was next. It was fucking jackhammer time.
Like, and then he jackhammers him, and he fucking pins him. And this is where
everyone lost their fucking mind. This was WrestleMania 20-0, now 20-1.
Yeah, this is where the problem with the announcers is a problem.
Yeah.
Because they don't have Jim Ross and shit anymore.
Oh, God.
And they don't have these guys. Like, they've got Mauro Ranallo on SmackDown's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, he was not announcing during this match.
Which is stupid.
But, like, when you've got Michael Cole and Corey Graves and fucking Layfield or whatever. No, it's not even him anymore, is it? He's on SmackDown now, right?
No, he was. I think he was there for that.
Yeah, but you've got Michael Cole and Corey Graves and shit. No offense to Corey Graves, but he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing right now. But
he's still better
a good
than
announcer,
fucking...
a Jim Ross, or a good announcer like that, or even like a guy
Jerry,
like fucking Lawler or whatever, they would have been like,
Taz.
Brock's got diverticulitis. You know, as soon as that first spear hit and he was down in his guts, Jim Ross would have been like, Brock had to retire from the UFC because of diverticulitis, and a wrong hit to the gut could literally kill this man. And Michael Cole says, fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Brock went down, blah, blah, blah. Nothing. No. And so fucking this means nothing because of the way that they react to it.
Yeah.
Like, they're reacting like, oh, I'm going apeshit or whatever.
Some really good...
Talk about it. Tell me why this works. Why this makes sense. Why this scary man just got murdered in a minute and 26 seconds. Because a good announcer can make a finish that some people might not understand make perfect sense.
Like, what's Brock's 1 weak spot? That gut shot.
This is why Goldberg is an assassin of Brock. They should have talked about this multiple times.
Because that spear...
in the lead-up. As good as this lead-up was, this is what the lead-up was missing. Because Brock is susceptible to a spear.
Yeah. The spear is the anti-Brock weapon. That's the thing. If Edge could have got him with it.
Yeah, they made this mistake with Roman, too. When they had Roman against Brock, they should have played this up constantly.
Yeah, with the spear.
They should have been like, Brock is susceptible to a spear.
Because the punch ain't going to do shit, because Brock ate so many of those Superman punches. The one move that Brock is susceptible to is the spear. In his current condition, it's the spear. It used to be Kurt Angle's fucking ankle lock.
It's like, this is a move, like, this should have been said multiple times. This is a move that could kill this man.
Yeah.
It should have been mentioned repeatedly.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, this is what I said. Like, it's not like it's just Jim Ross. There's other great announcers out there and stuff, too. Mike Tenay used to be a great announcer, too. There's other guys in WCW that were great announcers, too. But Jim Ross would have played this up from the second this fucking shit started. He would have been like, Brock Lesnar is susceptible to the spear, diverticulitis. They could kill a man. They could kill the man legitimately. Yeah. And it would have been over and over and pounded into your head to the point where you're like, I'm scared to see this guy get speared because it might kill it.
Yeah. You're like, if he catches him with the spear, it could end it. Because they always talk about just one F5 will end a match.
Yeah.
Well, they never played up the fucking one spear could fucking, like, just take Brock out of his fucking game.
But the behind the scenes of all this is what happened is, like, when they had that first thing that happened on Raw, and Goldberg did his promo, and then Brock did his return promo, and then had the stare down or whatever, Brock was like, this is going to make us money.
Yeah.
Like, he's pointing out, like, there's no reason this should be one match.
Yeah.
Because this guy can make us money.
Dude, the fan reaction...
No one else makes money against me right now.
The fan reaction when he got beat that quick, how decisively he got beat, was literally the exact same reaction when he beat Undertaker at WrestleMania and broke the streak. Like, it was that. Fucking people, and that was one thing good they did. They fucking sucked it up on the announcing, but whoever was shooting camera shots of the audience did amazing shots of catching people being like literally pulling their hair out, like what the fuck, like losing their mind, and it just sucked because all that build up to that.
Well, that's the thing. Like I said, like I think with the proper announcing, the proper build-up in the announcing and mentioning those things, it would have been perfect.
It would have been perfect.
And the thing is, it can still be great. It still will be, if they keep going the right way.
If they do like he did with Undertaker, a best of 3 series.
Well, if they come back and they say, like, hey, like, if they play it up now, they can play it up now. Like, oh, well, Brock has diverticulitis, like, no wonder he went down to the spear. Because, of course, he's susceptible to it. But do I trust that Michael Cole or any other fucking moron that's out there will do this? Absolutely not. But they should.
Yeah.
But no, like, I guess, like, I didn't get to watch Raw, but I guess, like, Goldberg came out on Raw and was basically like, maybe it's not just one. Maybe I've got more. And announced that he was going to be in the Rumble.
Yeah.
And what do you get when you win the Rumble? A chance at the title. And they were like, Stephanie was like, well, do you think you got one more title reign in you? And he was like, hell yes, I do. And so this is the thing. They've talked him into coming back and being, around more and doing more matches and stuff. This guy can make money right now.
Oh, yeah.
He is one of legit the last guys of the old era that can come in there and make money.
And this is the thing. They fucked it with Sting. They literally did.
Royally
they fucked it with Sting. One, they had him go against Triple H.
In one respect, Sting was too old.
Sting was too old, but there was money to be made there.
There was.
And they only made a little bit of it. They fucked it up. Triple H was not the ideal guy that they should have had him go against.
God, no.
Then the worst thing was against Seth Rollins, who has damaged a lot of people. Yeah. Especially when considering multiple times the one match, not only the fans, but Sting himself said that they wanted was the one-on-one with Undertaker, which that literally would have been the fucking throwback match of the fucking century, was seeing those two go at it. And it could have been beautiful because you have the Undertaker right now where he's kind of like back into his fucking like dead man, very heel, and then you got Sting where he's the icon, the vigilante and stuff. So you have the vigilante versus the dead man and shit. It could have, oh my god, it couldn't have been more perfect. But then they're like, no, he's got to take on Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins is the man, and it's like, stop it, like stop. And this is the thing.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like Brock and Goldberg can make a lot of money. Like legitimately, if they do this right, like if they put Goldberg in the Rumble. And they give him that title shot at Mania. They got to put that belt on Brock. Because that for the title would mean something.
Yeah.
Would really mean something. But then that just depends on how long Goldberg wants to stick around for.
Yeah.
And how up to he feels being champ.
Because are you going to do another squash, though? Like where Brock...
No, I think this would be like a rough... Like, I think what they need to do between now and the next time they meet is they need to be like... Brock was like, all right, you know what? I didn't take you seriously. You know what? I was off my game a little bit. You hit me in the stomach. You may have caused a problem. Like, you know that's my vulnerable spot. Whatever. Like, not even say vulnerable spot. Necessarily. Like, you know that I have problems there. Or something like shit. You fucking took advantage of that. Whatever. You got me. I'll kill you next time. Mm-hmm. Like, this is ridiculous. You've got 2 up on me. You will fight me again, and I will fucking kill you. Like, they got to make it up there, and they got to really have a good, like, a fucking brawl of a match. And hell, if you want to if Goldberg is up to it, and you want to stick him out there every week or 2 and let him fucking kill somebody and destroy him in 30 seconds, let him do it, because it's all it's gonna do is just build it up and build it up.
It worked in WCW, and everybody can believe that shit. The only thing is, like, are they going to do it like this, where Goldberg beat him this time, Brock beats him in the next time, and then Goldberg comes back and finally triumphantly, like, kicks his ass, takes the title, and it's the third. It's the, like, best, like, I beat you 2 out of 3, plus the 1 I beat you before. Yeah. Like, I've definitively whooped your ass. Mm. Because they kind of did that with Taker, but it was like Taker definitively got his ass kicked, because he even had to, like, fight dirty just to get a win on Brock. So, you know... I think that's the thing is, like, in their eyes, they kind of have to make Brock look like he is beatable. Like, by the right guy. Not everybody can beat Brock, but Brock can be beat.
Well, if they want to put stink back on Brock, Owens is your champion on Raw right now. He's a big hoss guy who's good.
And he's got Jericho in his corner.
Jericho and Goldberg already have a history of and all that shit. And Brock and Jericho have a history, too. Mm-hmm. Because Jericho always has a problem with those guys like that. Yeah. Fucking let Brock come back pissed off and angry that he lost, and have him fucking destroy Kevin Owens. And take that belt. Because then you put that fucking title on him and you let it sit there. Until it's time for Goldberg to take it.
Yeah. The only thing is like, will Brock commit to that?
I don't know. That's the other problem. But Brock is the one. They're saying it was Brock's idea to make this go further.
So if he'll commit,
so how much commitment does he have? Yeah. That's what I want to know. There's a lot of stuff you can do.
Yeah, there's a lot of options here, but like it is on a ticking time bomb. That's the thing. You got a lot of options, not a lot of time. Yeah. So you got to do the right things to get maximum stuff out of this. Was it everything I hoped it would be? Not even close. Was it awesome to see Brock get his fucking shit pushed in like a fucking prison bitch? Hell yes.
I rewound it like 3 times.
Oh god, yeah. I just watched it on a loop where it was just spear, jackhammer, whoop your ass. Like, it was great. And it was like seeing Goldberg back when he was fucking in his prime, when that's all he did was just come in and decimate motherfuckers. Yeah. You know, during that whole, when the NWO was still big, and it was like, oh, NWO is just demolishing everybody, what's going to happen? And then Goldberg just wrecked every one of the motherfuckers.
That's the thing, like, Goldberg, he said it on Raw, like, he missed being a superhero for the kids, and that's kind of what he's always been. Yeah. Like, there was about 5 seconds when they tried to make him a heel once, and it failed miserably, and he went right back to normal.
It was like when they did the heel shitty turn on Austin. Yeah. Yeah, like, it doesn't work.
But they didn't let that go way too long.
Yeah, they did.
But fucking, like... It was great to see, like, they did a great thing after the matches. They let it sink in. Mm-hmm. They had Goldberg go out there and celebrate with his wife and pull his kid out of the crowd, and his kid had his shirt off, and they're in the ring together posing and stuff, and, like, you can tell that this is the thing he's been dreaming of. Like, not that the kid's been dreaming of, but that he's been dreaming of.
That he wanted this.
That he wanted to see his son, to see him be, like, this dominant guy that he was then or whatever, like, because his son wasn't even alive when he was doing those things or whatever, and, like, it was before he had met his wife, so, like, he wanted them to see him be that guy again. Yeah. And, like, you could tell it meant something to him. Mm-hmm. And, like, it really just, it sunk in. So it's like, yeah,
and you can see how he was with the kids. Like, this whole build-up every time he got out of the ring.
Which is hilarious, because all these kids weren't even born when Goldberg was relevant.
No.
But the kids were apeshit for this guy.
Yeah. Because he was all about them. That's the thing. It was like, this is why John Cena does so well, because those kids love those wrestlers that are all about them, and not just like off TV.
Yeah, no,
like
everywhere. Like Goldberg has been steadily doing everything for kids' charities and stuff, even way after his wrestling career was over. Yeah, and still steadily does that shit. So that's the thing. Like, here's a guy who has that potential, who has that upswing to, like, with all the stuff that WWE does with Make-A-Wish and kids and all that stuff. Like, this is the guy that you want on your team because he loves that shit, and he will go out there and pound the fucking pavement for it too.
Yeah. And you've already got, like, a John Cena who fucking goes above and beyond and shit like that.
Exactly.
And you've got, you know, I forget who it is in the women's division that go crazy. But, I mean, now you got Goldberg. And that's the other thing, too, is, like, where John Cena's great about that, like, there's the other half of the fan base that don't take him seriously because he is fucking, is John Cena and stuff. But when Goldberg, that other half shuts up real quick because it's fucking Goldberg, you know? So...
I'm hopeful that it will turn into something worth seeing. Like, and they've done a decent job with it so far. Let's hope that continues.
For me, the other bit of hopeful news came out of NXT when we saw fucking Mickie James, fucking get back in the ring and take on fucking what's her face, the Asuka, Asuka or whatever her name is, and she looked fucking amazing.
No, I love Mickie. I've always loved Mickie.
Great shape. No ring rust, did a great job. Like, this could be one of those things, like, if they do this right, and if she's willing to come back and do it and stuff, Mickie James is a name that could definitely needs to be back on the roster because, like, you look at that lineup on either show, female-wise, no. I could see Mickie James holding the women's belt on SmackDown, no problem.
Oh, yeah,
and it being like dominant, you know.
Yeah, they need somebody with her, you know, experience right now.
I could see her in a feud with Natalya and those matches just being fucking epic, you know. Like, yeah, you got your Flair, Bayley, Banks and stuff, and that's cool. I feel like bringing Bayley up only really kind of fucked the program up on that one, you know. But I feel like on SmackDown she could just be fucking dominant as shit. I mean, Raw's got its own problem in the what do you do with Nia Jax? Yeah, you know, like you're kind of fucked. Because eventually they're gonna have to make her go for the title, and it's gonna be like she'll just decimate Flair, like Charlotte. You know, sorry. But as we talked about this, is like if that goes well, hopefully, like if any of that could ever happen with Mickie James, that leaves roads open to fucking maybe see Magnus come into the WWE. And
I love that.
Oh my god, could he be great? Could you imagine him on SmackDown 2 with AJ? Magnus and AJ going at it, or like Magnus and any of the other guys? Like, Magnus was a great wrestler.
He is. The only problem with him is that he's British, and they really do not know how to push British guys at all.
They don't. But
Wade
you know
Barrett
what?
was a perfect example of that.
That's true. But also, the other thing, though, is Barrett was still young, and he didn't know a lot of what he needed to do, too, to kind of, like, push himself. Magnus isn't. Yeah. Magnus knows what he needs to do to push himself. So it's like, if he could get on there with Daniel and Shane and just be like, here's how you push me, and, like, do that, they'd be perfect. Or even if he was on Raw, because I know Foley knows him. They worked together when they were on TNA. Yeah. So, I mean, it's possible. That would be great, because I think they missed the boat with Matt Morgan. Matt Morgan would have been amazing for them, and TNA fucked that up. Like, really? Yeah, and like TNA right now is in a fucking shitstorm. We don't know what the fuck's going on. They're dead. So we don't know who's going to be coming back, you know? Are we getting the Hardys back? Or are we fucking, you know, how many of the TNA guys are fucking shooting over to NXT and Raw and SmackDown? Yeah. You know? You've already got, what's-his-face Insanity on NXT. Yeah. Eric Young. You know? When are they going to bring that up? You know? So, a lot of hopeful stuff coming out. But as far as a pay-per-view, yeah, that was a fail. It was a fail. I think that was just a poorly executed thing. Like, it was Raw waving its dick around and fucking just
accurate.
Yeah, it was. It was like literally Raw just waving its dick around and treating SmackDown like the bastard little stepchild that it is. You know.
I agree. Well, speaking of things that were not an epic fail, it's time for Kickstarters of the week. Yeah. And I've only got 3 this week, and 2 of them are just belligerently overly funded. Not overly, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
3 days left on the Affinity Arrival from No Gravity Studios is our good friend Jared Blanton, as he's doing 3 separate stories with 3 separate female characters in his universe. Mm-hmm. And 161% funded, $6,472, 3 days left to go. So, yeah, it's just all about the stretch goals right now. And if you're big into the stretch goals with covers and, prints and things like that, Jared's definitely your guy for that.
Yep.
And then, of course, a huge project that is just gangbusters.
This was
like,
one
beyond.
of those. Yeah, this was one of those ones when we heard about it, we were like, "Oh, if only!" Like it could, if only. And then it not only did it do it, but it just was like it fucking decimated
with a whopping 240% funded.
Yeah,
$31,308 with 5 days left to go. The Nightmare World Omnibus, now the Nightmare World Bible.
Yeah.
Gilded pages, leather bound, tentacle bookmark.
So that's like, if this is enticing you, you got 5 days left, kids. Get on this shit if you want this.
And our only new one of the week, this one is actually for something called Geekery Magazine. And this is kind of a throwback to those great magazines of the past, like Wizard and Toy Fair, that covered comics. But this one is more about indie comics, cosplay, games.
Yeah,
I would definitely recommend checking it out. It's got 23 days to go, so it just started. It's already 17% funded, so that's a good sign. If everybody wants to check that one out, it's called Geekery Magazine: The Enthusiast Guide to Indie Fandom. By a guy named Garrett Gunn. So please check that one out. There's actually some people that I've talked to and that are friends with us that are involved in it. Frank Martin, who I've had on the Todd Files, is involved in the project. And Russell Nolte, who's a friend of the show, is involved in the project too, and a couple of other people. I know Corey Hampshire is involved in it too. So it's a lot of people that we know and that are great people in the independent community.
And now this is not just it is a magazine, like a 60-page full magazine and everything, but it's not just that too. They're going to be running a website, and it's all going to be devoted to this stuff. So it's we've talked about this before. Loving indie stuff is great. Finding out about indie stuff can kind of be a little difficult. Unless you're hitting these cons. The more, collector indie cons, you're getting a very trickle down, stuff of these comics as far as who's making them, what's getting made, the new stuff that's coming out, just all kinds of different things. And their goal, both in paper and on digital format and stuff, is to just give you every shortcut they can find to just blowing your mind with indie stuff.
Yes.
So,
and of course, indie stuff is near and dear to our hearts and a lot of our friends. So, I would definitely recommend checking this one out.
Yeah.
Since it's the 3-year anniversary, I just want to take a minute to, and then Thanksgiving, I guess it's kind of appropriate to say thank you to everybody who's been with us and everyone who's ever listened to an episode, downloaded an episode, shared a link, any of that stuff, come and seen us at a show. Just hung out, any of that. Anybody who's ever been a guest on the show, especially our guests on the show, repeat guests like Mike and
I just want to thank you and be glad that you all understand that 1, Dave will not listen to your podcast.
Never ever.
And 2, Dave does not care about you in any way, shape, or form.
Well, I care about all of you.
It's because he needs that love in his life. I don't.
all we need is love, man.
Yeah,
love is all we. No, in all seriousness,
no, we love you guys. Yeah,
this has been a hell of a ride so far, and we've got to do some of the stuff I never expected to happen. We've got to become comic book characters. We've got to do amazing conventions and interview people and had great guests.
I've gotten to meet childhood celebrities that I thought I would never, ever get to meet.
Got to meet heroes in the comic world that have just really blown our minds with how amazing that they were, and got to become good friends with people that we were big fans of to begin with, and got to be exposed to just some amazing work by so many different, wonderfully talented people.
Got to do write openings for comics, reviews for comics,
on,
all kinds of stuff.
You guys have given us the opportunity to be printed in your books and advertised in your books and been on our shows, and
So this next year we're going to go all Kanye West now, and we're just going to start acting like we're too damn good for all of you.
That's never going to happen. I hate Kanye West.
What is if you marry Kim Kardashian?
A lot of people have asked me about the Todd Files, and I've got 2 interviews in the pipe right now. We just have to get scheduled, so we are coming back.
Yep.
And hopefully with a big splash. I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
And we will be doing more. It came from the queue. The problem right now is logistically, it's just almost impossible because
it's a holiday season.
It's the holiday season. I'm working.
Yeah. If it happens, it's probably not going to be till after the holiday season, which
probably not, yeah.
I know you guys all understand that because, like, trying to get that many people together to sit down, watch a movie, then do this show is going to be difficult. So,
and we're in the process of moving and stuff too, which is a big thing. So it's just like logistically, it's a nightmare right now.
But we also did warn people this was going to be a spotty show, so it's like it's just when it happens, it happens.
But we love doing it, and it's not going away
because we found some winners.
Because we have a ton of stuff in the pipe for that, and a lot of people interested in being on the show too. So it will happen soon as we can, just probably like after Christmas.
Boxers eating my nuts.
That happens all the time.
Scrotal Fury.
But thank you to all you guys. I'm just going to throw out a few names just to mention. That have been huge supporters. Dirk, of course. Dirk Manning, Victor Dandridge, Mike Watson. Man, I'm going to forget so many people, but Michelle.
Michelle who?
Michelle Joy Gallagher.
There you go.
Mistress of the Darkness.
Yeah.
Pat Koala, our
Mr.
network.
Space Lady herself.
Our network head, Pat Koala. We love you, Pat.
We make your network great.
We make it great. So great.
So great.
JR, of course, all the promoters that have helped us out, Aaron, Kenny, and Sarah from Roma Collectibles.
Oh yeah,
we love you guys. Huge ups to you guys.
Yep. Pack Rat,
Comics,
Pack Rat,
Jamie and Teresa, you guys are wonderful.
Yep, giving us a lot of stuff too.
Jim and Dan's for giving us spots at their shows. John Colell out in Michigan for giving us plenty of spots out at his shows too. Stephanie Menard and Casey and all the Source Point Press guys.
Pretty much everybody at Legacy too.
Everybody at Legacy Rising, Doug and Ren McKenzie, all those guys.
Yeah. Not you, Metzger.
Not you. He was the next one on the list. I knew you were going to say,
not bad Metzger. That motherfucker ain't done shit. Just kidding. But you really ain't done shit.
This show would not exist without a lot of your guys' support. This show wouldn't exist with you, sir. Without you, I would have never had the balls to do this without you pushing me.
Yeah, I know, baby.
And not Dave. I would never have the balls to have done it without her pushing for it too. And I give her all the credit in the world for that. I love this more than anything in the world. Like,
we got a dead mother. We got a Basement Beach. We got the original Basement Babe.
Vicky, we love you so much. Like.
He remembered her name. Oh my god!
Yeah. Don't give me shit. Don't give me shit. No,
I'll give it
without the support of Victoria, without the support of Sandy, and Ariel, and all of you guys that have helped us, we just
going to bat for us.
Going to bat over and over again. When we did the GoFundMe and we lost our computer, without your guys' support, we wouldn't even be doing this right now. Oh yeah,
definitely.
And Thank you. It's. I hope that, another year from now we're sitting here with another 50 episodes under our belts,
Maybe with some better audio equipment and some, cooler stuff.
We've got some ideas. We're about to hit the big 150, actually.
We've got some ideas. So, yeah.
But it's going to be... A lot of things are changing right now, and it's going to be a year of change for us. So once we come out on the other side, we're going to be bigger and stronger and faster
and stickier, and there's going to be afterbirth and placenta,
bigger dicks,
bigger blacker dicks,
bigger blacker Mecha Nazi Hitler.
Yeah, Mecha Nuggets. We've learned that the card bigger blacker dick does not always win.
Doesn't always, no. Even Mecha Hitler doesn't always win.
Yeah, Mecha Hitler.
I love you, Cards Against Humanity. No, we do have one upcoming show. It's our last show of the year. It's Sunday, December 4th, I believe. Either 3rd or 4th, I can't remember. You guys can check on the date on that one. But it's the Jim and Dan show out in Dayton. It's going to be, what's the name of the college?
Oh, Wright State.
Wright State University.
Right off 675.
Yeah, if you guys remember where Gem City used to be before they started doing it.
Which was the Nutter
Center. Yeah, well, they used to be there before they started doing the Nutter Center. So, yeah. We're going to be out there for that one. That's our last one of 2016.
Yep.
So come on out there for that one. That should be a lot of fun.
But again, we are already taking like ideas.
Yes.
If there are cons that you want us to like look at, to think about going or checking out and stuff, send us. We're already starting to look and kind of plan out, like pre-plan, con year.
If you're a con promoter and you want us to come to the show, please let us know.
Oh yeah,
you can send us a message through our Todd David account.
Only need an 8-ball of Coke and about 3 strippers. Like, that's it. Like,
Blackjack.
Yeah. Hard heroin,
But is it chillin' time?
Yeah, Dance Monkey.
I guess it's chillin' time.
Dance Monkey!
If you like what you heard this week on the Basement Fodder podcast, of course, you can always find us at our website, thebasementofdoom.wordpress.com, and our network home of digitalnerdage.com. If you have a podcast network and you're looking for content, you can always email us at basementfodder@gmail.com. You can check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Basement Fodder. And, of course, we're all over the Facebook. Todd of Basement Fodder, Dave of Basement Fodder, the original Basement Babe, the Dead Mother of Doom, the Todd Files, and, of course, Titan Trap Customs if you're in the market for custom action figures. You can check out all 3 of our shows, Basement Fodder Podcast, the Todd Files, and It Came From the Queue, all available on digitalnerdage.com and iTunes, Spreaker.com, all those wonderful places that you can download podcasts. I think that's going to wrap it up for this week, sir.
Yep.
Well, as always, from the Basement of Doom, I'm Todd.
And I'm Dave, and I'm reading a comic.
And until next time, the basement door is closed.
Later, bitches.